Hello everyone, I'm James Krieger, and this is my project, Strengthening Clinical Engineering. My mentor is Ann Ravito. Let's take a look at the agenda here. First, we're going to go through a little history of Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, and also what actually clinical engineering does, which is the department I work in, and some of the challenges facing children's and clinical engineering. Look at some strategies to help strengthen clinical engineering, and also the status of the project. Little mentor introduction, and timeline and feedback questions. So a little about Children's Hospital of Wisconsin and clinical engineering. It started as a 10-bed hospital in 1894. It was started by 7 women who banded together and purchased a house in Milwaukee to treat immigrant children primarily. Fast forward, in 2016, it is a 306-bed health system that has many different specialty care units. It has lots of lots of clinics that have been placed in outside around Wisconsin. Currently, the vision is that Wisconsin kids will be the healthiest in the nation. We've been a top workplace for several years. In 2016, we were a top workplace as well for Journal Sentinel. I'm kind of proud of this. We won Lab of the Year in 2015. The lab is actually the department that one of the main departments I take care of in clinical engineering. And we're also magnet recognized by the American Nurses Credentialing Center. So one of the challenges facing Children's is that we've come under increased competition in a market that's not growing, and that's from Aurora Hospitals. They decided to enter the pediatric market this year, partnering with UW Health. Like I said, the market isn't growing very much for kids. There's not like a giant population boom or anything. Additionally, we're building more clinics closer to patients. We opened a Mequon clinic, a huge Mequon clinic that has all sorts of specialty care, and we also opened a large Delafield clinic, and also on the north side of Milwaukee recently. So with that, there's also increase in size, complexity, and scope of projects. As anything goes on, the amount of technology used and network integration is always increased. So, you increase the scope and the size of all these projects. So where does clinical engineering fit in with all of this? What is clinical engineering? Clinical engineering takes care of day-to-day operations and requirements of care devices. So on the top left there, we have a picture of an infusion device that infuses IV medications, and we recently acquired a couple thousands of these devices. So that was actually quite the undertaking that we were responsible for. On the right side there is a picture of a GE V850 patient monitor. That was an interesting project too, because in the intensive care units, all the patients were on the old GE monitors, and we had to install and put in new GE monitors. So putting in new monitors with the patient on the monitor makes it quite difficult. So again, a good example of increased complexity in projects. We also provide input and implementation of projects that involve patient care devices. So challenges for clinical engineering. Obviously, I've gone over this, dealing with increasing frequency of project size and complexity. The biggest problem we have with this is that we have no framework and no real formal way of going about doing projects, or tools for that matter, for handling them. Additionally, and one of the biggest things that I think that we have to deal with is fighting the threat of outside management corporations such as TriMedics, GE Healthcare, and Aramark. Children's Hospital Clinical Engineering is an island, along with Freighter, in that we have no outside management corporation. A lot of times, for example, and this just happened, the food service of hospitals is farmed out to like Aramark. Because honestly, why should a healthcare system be, dealing with cafeteria food? They should be focusing on making kids better. And a lot of times, like Aurora, for example, is partnered with GE, so all of the biomedical technicians, which is what I am, and all of clinical engineering is run from General Electric. They're all GE employees. Generally, though, when that happens, the enjoyment of working in a place kind of goes down, and you don't have that response, So we're trying to maintain the independent status. So kind of went through all the um, challenges facing Children's Hospital and clinical engineering. What are some of the solutions? What's my project actually about? Let's look at the core. So solutions to clinical engineering challenges. First thing that I would like to do is implement a clinical engineering vision. Implementing a vision is a very good way to boost the urgency and to sort of solidify what it is that we want to do, sort of wrap it up in a nice neat package of what we offer at Children's Hospital Wisconsin. And that's to offer irreplaceable medical equipment expertise, value, effectiveness, and customer service to support children's vision of making Wisconsin kids the healthiest kids in the nation. All right, so like I said before, how we're trying to really stay away from being taken over by an outside organization. The irreplaceable medical equipment expertise is kind of the key words in there, and ideally that would sort of drum up some urgency in coworkers. So to help enable this vision to be implemented, I would like to help. We have a new manager who started in 2016, who I will introduce in a little bit, who is also my mentor. I'm going to help the manager shed some engineering roles. She was an engineer for a long time. Now she is a manager. So to sort of help get this vision going, shed some of her work so that she can actually focus on managing instead of engineering day-to-day stuff. And to do that, it would be helping take care of like project management and also device management. So I would be the lead project guy in the department. Another thing that I think would be pretty effective to make sure that I don't know, it's a good place to work and that we have low turnover is to champion more cross training so techs are more effective and can take more time off. So the idea would be that each technician would cross train 2 other technicians on their core responsibilities. And then that would help increase our effectiveness in case someone is gone. You have 2 other people that are pretty well trained in your area. The carrot on the stick would be that you could take off 3 weeks at a time, which I think is something that nowhere else really offers. And in the end, you'd get better employee engagement. So let's introduce my mentor / manager. She's Anne Ravito, and I have a very enthusiastic, happy picture of her right here. She has a Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering. She's been in the biomedical field since 1989, so she has a lot of experience. She's pretty much seen everything, which I think helps make her a great mentor. She's also led a lot of projects, and she's been a clinical engineer at Children since 2003. So she has excellent experience. She's also the person I want to help lead our department. Like I said, she became a manager in 2016. Also, she is easily bribed with frosting, so if I ever need anything done, I can just bring in a jar of frosting, give it to her, and bam, it's done. So we have the solutions for clinical engineering kind of laid out, and we have my manager or mentor. So let's look at some of the collaboration strategies and a timeline. Basically, I'd like to, as soon as possible, implement a CE vision to sort of tie together all the changes that we're doing so it makes sense. Big thing with this is above Anne, our manager, is our director, Terry Hensler, who used to be our manager. But I would like him to really get on board with the vision and sort of drive it home because he has a lot of sway with all the guys in the department. Additionally, I'm going to be joining in on project planning and discussions. That happens once a week. And right now, there's a pretty large project that's going to be taking place in January, which is the new NICU that we have half of a new NICU. We're going to be implementing the other half of the NICU, which has lots of equipment, lots of planning, tons of logistics, lots of stuff going on. So I'm going to be kind of shadowing Anne to sort of learn how she does things and see what tools she uses and how I can best help with all that to relieve that burden so she can see what's going on and guide our department better. Additionally, I want to meet every 2 weeks, just refinement of changes, kind of just you know make sure that we're on the same page, and also maybe get some data management training in there. That was another thing that I may be able to help her unload. It's basically just tracking all of our equipment, making sure the schedule is okay, which is actually a lot because we have several thousand pieces of equipment. And lastly, February is our review month, and it would be kind of the go live time for the new responsibilities that I would get, and also for implementing the cross training for all the guys. We could actually, if our manager and director is so inclined, we could actually write that as a goal to have people implement the cross training so they can get their 3 weeks off. All right, so the feedback questions. So I guess my question is that does anyone else have strategies to make the workplace more engaging for little to no cost? For example, the idea that I want to implement cross training doesn't cost money. It costs time, obviously. But the one resource we have a lot of is there are plenty of older, not I shouldn't say older, but more experienced employees in the shop that have lots of paid time off accrued, and this would be a way to, get them to sort of let people know how they work on stuff and how to fix things, and then they can take more time off. So if there are any other, strategies that people have used that don't cost anything to sort of increase engagement, in work, that'd be awesome. And are there any flaws in my plan? Kind of a general question, but also is my timeline too aggressive that in February I want to be able to switch all these over? I don't know if I feel like I'm wrestling away power from my manager. She certainly doesn't seem like it. She seems quite happy to give me any work, but or is it not aggressive enough? Like, should I be going quicker? So those are my questions. Yeah, thank you very much for taking a look at my presentation, and I hope to get working on this and working with all of you. Thank you very much.